Over the last 10 years, the Civil War Reenactment Camp at the Columns Museum has provided a glimpse into the life of Civil War soldiers. This event highlights the equipment they used in the field, the uniforms and the clothing they wore, the food they ate at camp, and lifestyle during the late 1800s. Dedicated reenactors volunteer every year to entertain and educate the public and provide a glimpse into the past. The Columns Museum has a special significance as it is home to the Lincoln flag, placed under the head of the president after he was shot by John Wilkes Booth in the Ford Theater. The American flag stained with the president's blood is a reminder of the sacrifice made by Abraham Lincoln to unite a nation. More than just reenactors, these living historians bring the past to life, with General Grant explaining why the Grants were not with the Lincolns at the Ford Theater.
Lincoln tells me, Laura Keene is playing tonight at Ford's Opera House. Our American Cousin is having its 1,000th performance with the best-known actress in the lead role. Would me and Mrs. Grant like to come along? I'd say that'd be fine, Mr. President. We will do that, not knowing Julia had other plans. When I'm leaving that meeting from the mansion, waiting for my horse to be brought up, I get a note from Julia. And she said to me in that letter, I think we need to go home and see the children. She doesn't know about the invitation to go to the theater. Well, I went back up to Mr. Lincoln's office, shakes my hand again, puts his hand on my shoulder, and the most regrettable thing about this meeting, he looks me in the eye and he says, you and I will have plenty of time to go to theater over the next 4 years. You go home and see your family.
And a day in the life of a Civil War soldier included a strict routine.
Reveille would have been about 5 o'clock. I would have been up. I would have had roll call just to make sure that nobody had left the camp without permission. After roll call, I would have had breakfast call. Would have had my fine meal of salt pork and hardtack and my good cup of coffee. After that would have been medical call, sick call. Is it bellyache, tummy ache, injured or hurt? I would have went to see the doctor. And after that would have been fatigue duty. Fatigue duty could have been anything as helping move trees, fences, getting water, marching, drilling, and so forth there.
Every soldier in the Army had a specific job to do. The most important jobs involved communications. The bugler was responsible for letting the camp know when it was time to wake up, eat, go to sleep, and if enemy troops were approaching. The drummer was responsible for keeping the troops moving. The rhythm of the drum determined how quickly the soldiers marched.
Drummers were the most important part of an army because they kept the rank moving in step. Each beat of the drum, like, it would be left, 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 right, left, 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 right, left, and each bang of the drum, the men would march forward from their left foot matching with it would match the beat of the drum, and the officers would say, on the drum, forward, march. And along with the fifer, you could have an entire rank moving in formation perfectly by the beat of the drummer's drum. If the drummer was killed, it was kind of like losing the heart of the unit.
In between marches, the soldiers would set up camp. In both armies, companies traveled with a central command tent, and often there would be a second camp of family and civilians nearby that provided support to the troops, including washing and mending uniforms, cooking food, and treating wounded soldiers. Other exhibits included toys from the 1800s, as well as civilian clothing of the time. Over the years, reenactors portrayed both Union and Confederate soldiers, but one of the most interesting reenactment weekends featured the 3rd Regiment of the United States Colored Troop reenactors of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. These living historians provided a unique glimpse into the role that African Americans played during the war against slavery.
We really believe that if we don't tell these stories, they won't be told and people will not know. We left Philadelphia, we left Pennsylvania, people left from this very community to join the United States Colored Troops down to Camp Winnipeg and fight. And old Abe had his fears, and everybody's wondering where's the colored volunteers. So give us a flag or free without a slave. We'll fight to defend it as our fathers did so brave. The gallant Company A will make the rebels dance, and we'll stand by the Union.
Help keep living history alive.